Hi there, this is Jennifer with Brome Fields, and today is day 68 of our 100 days of knit stitches. And today's stitch is a diagonal couching stitch. It is different, and as you can see, I cast on fewer stitches so I can make the video a little shorter because it's a lot of repeating. You want to cast on a multiples of 2 plus 1, so I have 9 stitches on my needle. And it creates this, I would call it a diagonal crossover, and it doesn't have a lot of stretch to it. It's definitely a different stitch. I haven't done this one before. So you want to, it's a 4-row repeat. So on row 1, you're going to knit the first stitch. And the other stitch is repeating, and it's just different. So we're going to skip these 2 stitches. We're going to insert the needle in between those 2 stitches, and we're going to loop it through as if to knit it. And that creates our crossover, that diagonal stitch. Then we're going to slip this stitch here as if to knit, and then we're going to knit that 3rd stitch. So we're going to skip the 2, I guess it's a 2nd stitch. So we're skipping 2 stitches, we're creating a 3rd stitch, which is the diagonal, slip as if to knit, and then knit. It is actually very simple. The instructions look very confusing. So we created that loop, slip as if to knit, and then knit. And we do want to do that. We're going to pretend that there's more stitches, and that it's really not as easy as you think it is to create that last loop. Seems like it would be easier, but it's not. Slip as if to knit, and then knit. So we had 9. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stitches. So we increased. So now we want to decrease. So on row 2, I'm going to purl 1, and then I'm going to start my repeat, which is purl 1 and then purl 2 together. So we're that loop that we created, we're going to purl it into the next stitch. So we're going to purl the stitch that we knitted on the previous row, and then we're going to knit that loop into the next purled stitch, or slipped stitch actually, because that one is knitted on the previous side, and then that one was the slipped stitch. We're going to knit those together, and we're just repeating that all the way across. Purl 2 together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as we had originally. Now we're just going to offset this diagonal. So we're going to be doing the same stitch as we did in row 1. We're just going to offset it. So we're going to knit the first 2 stitches, and then we will start the repeat. So we're going to skip 2, insert the needle to create a stitch, and that's our diagonal. Slip as if to knit, and knit. Repeat. Insert. So creating that diagonal, slip it, and knit it. Make one, oops. Slip as if to knit, knit, and then we're going to knit our last stitch. And then row 4, yep, we're just going to purl it together. Okay, so this row here, before I go to the next row, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Because we had the knit 2 at the beginning and a knit 1 at the end, we have a 1 less increase. So we only increased it 3 times versus the 4 on row 1. All right, so now we're ready to decrease the stitches. So we're going to purl 2, and then we will start our repeat. So then we'll purl 1 and then purl 2 together. So we're purling that yarn over into the next stitch. Purl 1, purl 2 together. Purl 1. And so they kind of get a little confusing, like if that stitch were over it, you want to make sure that you're purling the stitch that you knitted into last time and then crossing that yarn over into the next stitch. And then we're going to purl the last stitch. So then you should have your 9 original stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that does create a diagonal. It does use up a lot of yarn. It is very, I wouldn't call it squishy, I would call it maybe more dense. So this would be very warm. And it does create a neat diagonal in it. I will be making a larger one of these for my blanket. I just wanted to keep this short and sweet for the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's new stitch, and I hope to see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.